Why do I love these wide open spaces? They remind me of why our forefathers came here, not just for its beauty, but for the freedom only America provides.
Okay, are you sitting down? Well, new reporting suggests that a certain Trump official with an affliction for taxpayer-funded cosplay while, destroying the lives of many may be caught up in some trouble. Shocking, right? According to fantastic investigative reporting by ProPublica, the Department of Homeland Security awarded more than $220 million for an ad campaign under Secretary Kristi Noem. And one of the firms benefiting is deeply tied to Noem's inner circle. I'll explain more. A South Dakota-based company called Strategy Group helped produce a Mount Rushmore-themed ad for the DHS.
To prosper, to live how they choose, to become part of something special. Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here, but that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously. You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences. But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies. From President Trump and me, welcome home.
Yet, the firm does not appear in public contracting documents. Well, instead, a mysterious Delaware LLC created just days before it won the award is listed. Anyone who knows a good tax evasion scheme, usually Delaware's in there somewhere. And here's what else we know. The CEO of this group is married to Noem's chief Department of Homeland Security spokesperson, a direct personal link to the top of the department. DHS invoked a, quote, border emergency to skip competitive bidding, the very process designed to protect taxpayer money from political favoritism. Contracting specialists interviewed by ProPublica described the arrangement as, quote, corrupt and said it warrants congressional investigations, in which I would add, no shit.
There's no American citizens have been arrested or detained. We focus on those that are here illegally, and anything that you would hear or report that would be different than that is simply not true and false reporting. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Democrats are investigating the arrests of U.S. citizens after a ProPublica investigation showed that ICE has detained more than 170 citizens in recent raids. And the New York Times, citing video of federal agents tackling people and even telling a group of Latinos, including a U.S. citizen, they have no rights. This morning, the Times editorial board published an op-ed titled, "Being Latino in the United States Should Not Be a Crime," writing that the Trump administration's immigration crackdown has become a campaign of discrimination against Latinos, with tactics that violate both law and human decency.
Noem is under congressional investigation. Congressman Robert Garcia just launched a joint investigation with Senator Richard Blumenthal into the Department of Homeland Security after reports that American citizens are being detained by our own government. No warrants, no lawyers, people disappearing off U.S. streets. ProPublica uncovered that at least 170 Americans have been wrongfully arrested by DHS. Many denied phone calls, denied counsel, and held for days without charges, all under the Trump administration's directions. Garcia and Blumenthal have demanded every record from the DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Garcia said it best. He said no one should live in fear of being thrown behind bars by our own government because of their race or what they look like.
Thing is, when it comes to Trump appointees, it's not an isolated case, right? It fits a pattern seen repeatedly during the Trump years. Take, for instance, Scott Pruitt, Trump's EPA chief. He resigned after investigations showed that he used taxpayer funds for lavish travel, sweetheart condo deals from lobbyists, and security upgrades, benefiting himself personally.
Breaking news that EPA Chief Scott Pruitt has resigned amid growing ethics scandals and calls for him to step down. President Trump stood by Pruitt as he relentlessly rolled back environmental regulations, carrying out the president's agenda. But claims of legal and ethical violations mounted about that $43,000 phone booth, first-class travel, 24/7 security, and his use of his staff and his position for his personal benefit. The balance finally tipped, and tonight the president has accepted his resignation, shuffling his cabinet one more time. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl starts us off at the White House.
He was front and center at the White House 4th of July picnic just yesterday. But now Scott Pruitt, one of the most embattled cabinet secretaries ever, is gone. In his tweet announcing Pruitt's resignation as the head of the Environmental Protection Agency, the president said, "Within the agency, Scott has done an outstanding job, and I will always be thankful to him for this." But Pruitt's tenure has been beset by scandal after scandal, including a story ABC News broke earlier this year about Pruitt renting an apartment on Capitol Hill for just $50 a night from the wife of a lobbyist.
This was like an Airbnb situation.
You only paid for the nights you rent. You were there.
That's exactly right.
But that's kind of a sweetheart deal.
There was Tom Price, Trump's HHS secretary, who was forced out after charging taxpayers more than $1 million for private and military jet travel. And I mean, we could spend all day discussing Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump and how they've been scrutinized for using public office to boost private business interests in the Middle East to the tune of billions.
The President of the United States.
And second thing, how did the White House decide that it is appropriate for Jared Kushner to be working on matters that involve Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, 3 countries that combined have given him more than $2.5 billion for his investment firm?
I think it's, frankly, despicable that you're trying to suggest that it's inappropriate for Jared Kushner, who is widely respected around the world and has great trust in relationships with these critical partners in these countries, to strike a 20-point comprehensive detailed peace plan that no other administration would ever be able to achieve. And so Jared is donating his energy and his time to our government, to the President of the United States, to secure world peace. And that is a very noble thing. And
my name is Jared Kushner. I am senior advisor to President Donald J. Trump.
One day he said, I want to come down and I want to have peace in the Middle East.
It's a perfectly qualified team.
How is that?
No, I was joking. The feeling in the room was thrilled.
The proposal crafted by President Trump's son-in-law was considered dead on arrival.
Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner earned at least $82 million last year.
Jared Kushner was denied security clearance over concerns about foreign influence, private business interests.
Do you pose a grave national security concern to the country?
The curious coincidence of Jared Kushner's failure to secure an investment from Qatar before he advised Donald Trump to support the Saudis' damaging blockade against the country.
The Crown Prince is boasting that Kushner was, quote, in his pocket.
The coronavirus hitting all-time highs.
Unnamed White House officials have described your role as being something of running a shadow task force.
So PPE has been sporadic.
The notion of the federal stockpile was it's supposed to be our stockpile. It's not supposed to be state stockpiles that they then use.
Now more than 125,000 lives lost.
40 million people have lost their jobs.
The federal government rose to the challenge, and this is a great success story. The hope is that by July, the country's really rocking again.
Jared's done an outstanding job.
In each of these cases and many more, they have the same ingredients, right? Insiders, blurred lines, and more often than not, taxpayer dollars funneled through networks of political loyalty. Noem's DHS Contract Controversy follows the exact same blueprint. And the thing is, if your agency claims a national security emergency while routing millions to politically connected firms, I mean, how does this department maintain any sort of public trust?
Legal counsel. So, did the ICE agents working on this case who deported this 4-year-old with cancer of their own volition fail to follow ICE policies, or were they directed to by your office or anyone else in DHS leadership?
Sir, this mother chose to keep her child with her.
You have not produced any evidence to say so, but I'm asking again, have you directed DHS officers to ignore this
It's
policy?
very different than the previous administration.
All right. Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.